Welcome to my channel, folks. I just went through the back alley that is gonna lead me to the abandoned building that I will still camp in. I just have a very small amount of gear with me, just to be as light as possible and as fast as possible. So let's do this. Hey. We made it. Every time I explore abandoned places, my mind always comes up with the same natural questions to me. Who lived here? How did they spend their life? Were they happy? Abandoned places often serve as a time capsule preserving a bygone era, or a portrait of how the future will look like. You know what I mean. Welcome back to my channel, folks. The Beast is more human. I read this book at school when I was younger. It's a book about the genocide and the perversity that happened inside the Nazi death camps. It tells the story of the life of my fellow villagers in the Mauthausen camp. We're actually in the basement. I think this is the oldest part of the entire building. These are barrels made of concrete, and I think they have been made in the late 1800s, and they use it to contain wine. I think I can speak louder here because we are in a very deep basement. I will have to pay attention more when we will go upstairs. And it seems that the first level of the building has been a kind of restaurant for several years, and I think it's been renewed several times because it looks way newer than where we are now. It's definitely a better place to find shelter for the night, because here there's so many rats activities. I'm gonna show you a mummified cat. I don't know how many years that cat is there, so I show you right now. So let's get upstairs and take a look of the place and find a better spot to make a shelter for the night. These stairs brought me more into a closer present. From an ancient rotten basement to a more shiny and newer part of the building, but still rotten. All the furnitures are gone, and the building looked like a big dead empty space. This fire pit made me feel at home, so I've decided to make my shelter here, right in front of it. Plus, it was the only part of the building where the sewage smell was a bit softer, maybe because the chimney draught of the fire pit was keeping the air a bit fresher. No tripwire alarms this time. I wanted to avoid to attract attention, so I used small pieces of broken glass or pieces of concrete that will produce a more acceptable noise and warn me if someone got into the building. I tend to create situations like these on stairs, near all the entrances, below windows. We need to be creative, right? I give you some context. This is a village of 1,500 people located in my region. I will keep the location secret for obvious reasons. It's a village fairly away from all the big centers, so there are some abandoned properties here and there. Getting into a building here is pretty difficult because there's always another property where people live very close to the abandoned one. I have to be cautious talking. It's Saturday night, and like when I was a child, all the children are having fun through the streets of this village. And this is near the main road, but it was the cleanest and safest room of the entire building. I've spent the last 12 days, mostly early in the morning, doing some reconnaissance all around to find the best building to get into and do some urban stuff camping. Can you hear it? A lot of people are passing by. I just have to pay attention and don't put my lights towards the windows. I think I'm gonna be okay. By the way, it's always good to study your neighbor patterns. Knowing the neighbor's routine could be a huge plus when the shit hit the fan. Just my 2 cents. I wasn't very hungry. It's been a stressful infiltration, but it's always fun. Cheers. Coffee is always the best choice, even if I'm gonna sleep in 15 minutes. Don't worry people, hang in there till the end of the video. I will explain the setup that I decided to use for this adventure, why I choose a specific piece of gear and not another one, etc. So this fire pit behind me is really beautiful. I would love to have something like this in my home. So do you? I'm definitely tired, but happy. I wasn't sure that I was still able to lockpick a door that I don't know. It's a skill that I need to start to train again. I think I'm gonna need to wake up very early in the morning, so I will be able to egress as fast as possible when the most part of the people are still sleeping. Better go to bed. I truly hope that I won't wake up tomorrow with a police officer calling my name. See you tomorrow, guys. Good night. Yes. It's 6:30 in the morning. I think I'm gonna make a coffee, grab my stuff and go back to the car as silent as possible. I love eating beef jerky early in the morning. Better than sweet stuff. I think it's better to put everything together and move on the back of the building, enjoy some sip of coffee and then go away. It seems that someone parked right in front where I got into yesterday. So I'm gonna need to use another exit. For the one I'm thinking, I will just need my Leatherman to go out. Yesterday afternoon it wasn't a safe entrance. It was the easiest one in terms of opening the door. There was movement yesterday, so I'm gonna use that one. Of course the video is not at the end. Let's get back to the cave. Finally back to the cave, our safe house. I truly hope you enjoyed the action intro I made for this video. It was for entertaining purposes. I'm not taking myself that serious, so I just truly hope you enjoy it. I will put things like this here and there in my future videos. They spice things a little bit. So back to the gear. As already mentioned during the video, I had to choose a very essential setup. I wanted to keep things simple because I had to be as light as possible and as fast as possible. In a small village like this, too many eyes are around you and you don't even notice. So the first piece of kit I'm gonna show you is, of course, the backpack. The Watercraft Pilot 18 liters. It's my go-to during my urban adventures, or I use it as an everyday carry. The size is perfect, it's pretty comfortable. It's tough as nail. It's a photography pack, so it's more padded than a usual hiking or military backpack. I usually use the top compartment for the photography gear and the bottom part because it's split in half for the outdoor etc. gear that I'm gonna carry. Quite dirty, but I love it more because it's dirty. I don't like clean stuff. So this one was pretty comfortable. I could carry it in different ways if I had to move and take it out from my shoulders. So this is the pack. Attached to this pack I had this pouch, is a Watercraft pouch, where I had some essentials that I wanted to have readily available. Plus, since you have these molly straps here on the back, I had my folder that's up here, so when you carry, no one can see the folder behind it. On the other side of the waist belt, I had this pouch from Through Dark with medical essential in it, plus my tourniquet. Of course, my headlamp, the one that I'm using the most lately. This Phoenix is perfect to me. You have different light intensities, and of course my red one, which is my favorite ever. At the moment, I will never buy a headlamp if it doesn't have a red light. I also had a Leatherman tool. It's a great piece of kit. I think that is more multifunctional in an urban environment than during the outdoors, because we don't need screwdrivers in the outdoors. As already mentioned in the video, in specific scenarios I don't use tripwire alarms, etc. You have to be cautious because you can use them to protect yourself, but you have to be sure that not so many people are gonna hear you. So it's tricky. If SHTF comes and you are in a very big area, I will use tripwire alarms. In a small village like this, I usually go with different kind of alarms. And I use this one to broke glass, small pieces of glass, and lay them on the ground nearby windows and doors in order to hear if someone put their feet on it. It's a very helpful trick without letting anyone know that someone happened in that building. Another thing that I've carried, this is a very old Wonder Tactical folder. It's pretty worn out. It was a pre-production model. I always use it, I can pry things. I don't care if I break it. I didn't break it yet, so we are pretty happy on the knives we make. To keep sharpen my knife and my Leatherman, I carry this Work Sharp. I'm not really fan of this kind of sharpeners, but I have to be honest, it works very well. I tend to prefer steel sandpaper, as you saw in my sharpening video I made, but it's way easier to touch your blade a little bit and keep working on the task you're facing. So about cooking and food, I always carry the Pathfinder stove, plus the stove stand that they make, my Grail titanium spork, my titanium ultra press grill, so I have a container and a water filtration system, and another small bottle from Pathfinder to carry the clean water that I filter with my grill. I like Pathfinder stuff, they're great for the price. That's all my cooking filtering system that I'm carrying during this kind of adventures. Being essential is really important. I don't like to carry everything but the kitchen sink. It's something that I learned many years ago. So about food, I love eating. I'm Italian, so I love food. But when I go into the outdoors or during my urban adventures, etc., I don't actually feel the necessity to eat like I'm at home. So I don't carry much food, just the bare essential. For 24 hours, I used to carry a real field meal ration, maybe some snacks, and of course, my bag of coffee. I don't go anywhere without coffee. I love coffee. Did you notice? Sleeping system. Another bare to the bone selection. I bought a tent on Amazon a couple of years ago. I was waiting for my Fear Raven tent. So I bought this Nature Hike tent. It was fair for the price. Inside the tent there was this Nature Hike mat to isolate you from the ground, and I don't use the tent anymore because it's not what I need now, but I keep using this one during my urban adventures. I also use a Carinthia Pro sleeping bag. This one is Multicam Black. It's called TSS Outer. It comes also with an additional bag liner to improve the warmth of this sleeping bag. The comfort temperature is +9, so I've used it in winter. But your layering system needs to be perfect. You have to wear very warm clothes if you don't want to die during winter. The extreme temperature is -8 and comfort limit +5. 740 grams. It's not that much, it's pretty compact. I tend to use it from the end of February to the end of November. I love cold weather. Despite my hands and feet are always freezing, I'm happy in the cold. I don't know why. And last but not least, my Climate Static V-Recon mattress. I think I have it since 14 years. It worked flawlessly, and now the valve is a little bit worn out, so sometimes it's not fully pumped when I wake up in the morning, but that's okay. After 14 years, I'm gonna keep using it. Maybe I'm gonna buy a new one, but not yet. I don't want to waste money in something that I don't really need. Now I'm gonna show you what I have in this emergency pouch. We can call it in their way. In this pouch I carry what I want immediately available. On the back I have my knife, this Hurricane folding knife. Inside of this pouch I have some Gorilla Tape, some bank line, a beeswax candle, really helpful. The light is not powerful, but you don't need powerful lights during any urban adventures unless there's an emergency. A lighter with the Exotac sleeve, a field note memo book to write things down. I have a pencil with some more Gorilla Tape wrapped around. Inside the second part of the pouch I have an emergency blanket from Sol, of course, painkillers, and last but not least, my Storm lock picking kit. I think the company doesn't exist anymore. Pretty sad that companies like this disappear from a day to another. This is what I mainly carry in this pouch. I can keep it on the waist belt of my backpack, or I take it out, keep the backpack at the camp, and go anywhere with it and having some necessities. Of course, this is a specific necessity that is not multifunctional if I find myself in the outdoors, but the rest, it can always be helpful. Lockpicking is a great skill to have. We should learn these skills only for a good purpose. And be sure that in your country you can carry them around. That's it for today, guys. I truly hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in another video. I think we're gonna talk about a realistic BOB next time. Be prepared.